Our boys, welcome to day 13 of the bootcamp. Today is about how to go viral as quickly as humanly possible. So, I've obviously mentioned previously how to go viral, but if you were to really have a week or two, and it's really up to these 2 weeks to go viral, this is exactly what you gotta do. And this is more about having multiple phones, how to record with the multiple phones, which I haven't went into details on yet. For that reason, it really deserves its own day. And this is honestly what's gonna exponentially increase the chances and even the time, decrease the time where you would go viral. So, primarily, we're talking about reinvesting. This is more about once you make money, you start reinvesting, buying more phones. That's where this is all about. So, one, in terms of going viral quickly, is reinvest and buy multiple phones. So having 2 to 3 iPhones is gonna exponentially increase your chance of making more money. Because I'll tell you one thing, recording on multiple phones will provide you more split tests where you could compare between and eventually find a more or higher performing format or angle or whatever. And then on the other hand, you would never get shadow banned because the way it works is, let's say you buy 2 phones. So whenever you want to go to film for a product, whether it's at home or outside, the ROI, the return on investment for you to record with multiple phones is higher than one phone. And this is primarily because you will get more fresh content, which never gets shadow banned. And just having literally, think about it, you would have 5 accounts on one phone, but then 10 accounts if you had two phones. So it is literally gonna double your speed in terms of going viral, but it's obviously gonna require more work. So let's say my photo shoot is at a park. So instead of me driving there for 10 minutes just to record 2 times on one phone, now I'm going there to record on both phones for 20 minutes, but this time I'm actually making more from this trip to the park. So that's the first point. It increases your ROI, it increases your speed, it requires more energy and more time, but this is exponentially or like proportionally equal to your outcome. Because the reality is, if you were to take around 2 weeks and then on the third week you would go viral with 2 phones, you might actually blow up on the first phone and on the first week, and then the second week you go viral again. So this is having 2 phones, and then this is having one phone. You can see that it's a big difference. So I hope this was clear. And don't take the lazy route. If you want to airdrop content to your other phone and then post it, it will most likely get shadow banned, unless one thing you can do, you could actually, if you have 3, 4, 5 phones or even more, you could just record on 2 or 3 phones and then edit and post on these 2 or 3 phones. But then once you have these edited content, you could send it to the other phones and then post it on Instagram. This is one thing I've discovered, is that even if it was exactly the same video, 0 edits, 0 difference, and then you airdrop it to your other phone and then you post it on your other phone on Instagram, it will never get shadow banned. And this is actually one of the things which I'm doing. So I have 3 phones and I am doing purely filming and editing for 2 phones, but then the third one, I'm just transferring the content, just post it on Instagram or repost it. Completely different account, and it never gets shadow banned. So that's one trick you can do. But with this being said, you still need to put in the work to at least get fresh content on 2 phones, and then you could scale higher with multiple phones. So that was the first point. Second point are the formats. So although I've mentioned this previously, there's one thing which I have not mentioned, and I was actually on my burn account today. I hope you're doing your task, which is every single day, 30 to 60 minutes on your burn accounts. So I found this insanely good video, and it will break down what I'm about to say here about formats. So obviously you want to scout for viral content or viral ideas, whether they are in your niche or not. Find a way to take them to your niche. But that was the basic things which I've spoken about before. This is more advanced. Today is more advanced. So how can you reinvent the wheel, but in a more engineered way to go viral? Because I've already said we never want to reinvent the wheel, right? There's actually one way where you could do it and actually make money out of it, which is finding multiple viral formats. So that's one. And then you have viral format 2. Okay, so you'd find 2 different formats or video ideas which have went viral in the past. You combine them together to create this new. Okay, it sounds like a new video or new idea, but all it is multiple proven concepts combined into one video. So that's the new re-engineered viral format. And there's obviously a more advanced strategy. Let's take a look together. So he's using the format, the text, please no hate, which is a very old format. We've seen this maybe in January, February of 2025. So he brought it back in August, end of August. And if you are in the space, you'd know this sort of hook where he's showing the room. Very raw way of marketing your product because you're showing the lights and all that. Then you turn it on and then you show the product. But now, to your surprise, he's not showing the product. He's actually combining it with the other format, which is prototype versus product. So he draws a prototype, he even puts a call to action, link in bio, and then he shows the product. And then he even shows another call to action in the end. So let's watch it again. And then obviously with the song it's gonna even sound better or look better, but this is a piece of art. If you actually analyze what he did there, you'll understand that what he was able to do was not a beginner thing. He brought 2, and this is the beauty of it. You could bring an old idea and revive it by combining it with something newer, and then that way you could create a new viral piece of content. So I've never spoken about this. This is actually one of the reasons I went viral, extremely viral in Feb and March. That's how I got my 200 million views on Instagram. I literally combined 2 ideas, which I've seen in different niche. One was in my niche, the other is in another niche. Once I reveal my product, it will make way more sense, but trust me, you just need to spend more time analyzing content, doing your product research and idea research, just market research. That way, if you are creative enough, if you're surrounded with the right content and environment enough, ideas will start bombarding you. You're going to start thinking about creative things or ways of combining these puzzle pieces to create a new piece of content, which will go viral. So that's pretty much all it is about the second point, really. If you don't want to replicate the same viral content, which is most of the time proven to work, okay, you could actually take it a tiny step further, which is combining 2 ideas, but then this will require some courage, because literally there's this misconception or limiting belief, because we're all told. There's 2 sort of philosophies about this. There's a group which says you need to find unsaturated products, unsaturated marketing angles, which doesn't work, trust me. And then there's our sort of philosophy, which is only work on things which are saturated or that are actually proven to work. But in my opinion, with this idea, it's somewhere in between. It's like a fine line between the 2, where you're bringing proven concepts, combining them to create something that hasn't been done before. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Finally, third point is you need to self-analyze So it's more like a feedback loop. Okay. And this is literally in any sort of skill, any sort of competitive game, okay, whatever it is, you're gonna have to do this. Whether it's fighting, whether it's video games, whether it's business, you need to check your past performance, past work, analyze it, see what worked, what failed, and then take the things which worked and double down on them. And trust me, this is actually the one thing which will make you go viral. If anything, this is the one which will make you go viral. Because if you've posted for a month, you're gonna have a clear idea what worked and what didn't, and then you could double down on what worked. This is the first sign of hope with the branded product I had. So at the start, just like I mentioned, if you are running a product which is not a very trendy product right now, but it's a proven like product, has a good market, it goes viral every now and then, you're gonna most likely start somewhere like at the bottom and then slowly go up, and then you're gonna stay at somewhere like this. Okay, at least that was how it is for my product. Currently it's way more trendy than when I started, fortunately. But what I had to do was, I remember I had my first 100k video, and then I had to literally set what's it called, split test. So not with the editing part but with the filming part. So I'd refilm exact same setup but better, increase the props or improve them, the hand movements, the lighting, all the sort of things. And eventually I combined a new idea to it, and then it worked. Okay, so always use your data. So check your data or views, then eliminate failures and double down the winners. Okay, very important. So that's one. Two, apart from self-analyzing your videos, so this is just about views. The first point was about views. So you want to check what performed the best. That's what you want to work on. Problem is, a lot of people would try to bring in a new way of marketing. They would do it for so long and nothing's working, and then they stick to it. Don't do that. The only times I have ever stuck to a certain way of marketing for a very long time and it wasn't paying off, for example, is when I have seen enough proof of concept from other people, especially competitors, and they have like 100% made a lot of money. They went viral with it. It's a winning format. That's the times where I stuck to replicating these sort of content. But if you're trying to do your own thing and then you're not seeing results and you don't know whether you're performing well or not because nobody is overwatching you or something like that, then it's going to be way harder. So preferably, if you want to stick to a way of marketing, do it only if someone has done it before you. So he has laid down the foundation for you that it will work. That's where you can stick to that marketing angle and do it until it works. Because the bottom line is if you are replicating a viral content or viral format and you're not going viral, that means your content is bad. Full stop. Okay? But if you're creating a new angle, new format, then it's way more complicated. Next point, apart from views, is you need to see. So now let's say you have seen this ray of hope. You're seeing some views. What's next? Next is you want to improve. You want to split test. And this is in terms of filming. How can you do that? You want to improve the hook, most important. You want to improve the lighting. Maybe change the ambience lighting or whatever it was. Maybe change the table, the background, the props. And by change, I mean improve, because you already have something that worked. So that's your baseline. So you either do something better or you stay at the baseline, but you do it better. You know what I mean? So now you have a foundation of what you wanna. That's your standard, the new standard. So props, lighting, even hand movements. Maybe you wanna do it more aggressively, like faster edits or more aggressive edits. You wanna test, okay? It depends on the product, obviously. If it's an emotion product, you want slower edits and hand movements. It really depends. So that's what I mean by split testing. You see some hope, double down on what works, improve, and then eventually you go viral. And then thirdly is just reinvest. This is similar to that, but it's really about how do I put this into words? Because this is really subject to change from product to product. But the more I've seen products, the more I've noticed that when you double down, and this could be about like reinvesting energy, reinvesting time, or even money. Okay? If you reinvest everything into that business or that brand that you're making or building, then this will take you to the next level. So there's often times I've seen these products where they've made it very public that they're a brand, but they're a dropshipping e-com brand anyway. However, how do they present themselves as a brand? They would buy a lot of these products and then they would portray them as we have everything. We've seen that with poo. So they wouldn't just show you one poo, they would have a bed full of poos, right? It's the same concept. I don't know what's the philosophy behind it. It's just how it is, okay? You need to have this abundance so the viewer will see that you are the business owner and they want to buy from you. So this is more about when you make money, reinvest, buy more, start customizing your product, ask for samples, just double down. And obviously your time, your energy, reinvest it all into the business. Whatever works, just do more. That's pretty much it. So that was a quick 3 pillars sort of bootcamp about how to go viral real quickly. So as humanly as possible. Hopefully you guys learned something new because I've obviously mentioned this before, but not as in depth. So this is really about, let's say you have 2 weeks and you have to do it. This is really how you have to do it. Just, I mean, obviously you're going to be having an upper hand if you have the first point, which is multiple phones, SIM cards, all that stuff. But these number 2 and 3, these are actually the, determining factors. They're going to make or break your next 2 weeks. Okay, if you do them, they're gonna make you go viral. Otherwise, it's gonna be tough. So thanks for watching, boys. This was a very important day. Hopefully you guys will take action from this. See you on day 14. Peace out.